Hello and welcome to Understanding Astrology and Psychology Bridge series. In these series of videos, we are going to uncover the hidden layers between understanding the 9 Enneagrams in the Enneagram system of psychological evaluation, which has got 9 basic archetypes, bridging with the 27 Nakshatras in the 12 zodiac signs of Vedic Astrology. And we shall also borrow in from the 16 Myers-Briggs type indicators of personality into the 27 nakshatras in 12 zodiac signs. So we'll basically bring in the enneagrams as well as MBTI models into the 27 nakshatras. So there'll be basically 27 videos of each. This is the introduction part of every video. And how we are going to cover that is by taking a standard format. This is for Ashwini Nakshatra, for example, where we are going to discuss the talents, abilities, ambition, and fulfillment in career first. Then we are going to do some SWOT analysis, strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to each from a personality perspective. Then we are going to have some keywords which is discussing the different career possibilities for such nakshatras, especially if it's the Lord of the D1 or the D10. Best working relationships it has with other nakshatras, for example, this one has with Kritika, Rohini and Vrikshira. And then we are going to bring in the Enneagram model types, 3 of them, which are closely matching with Ashwini kind of themes which we have discussed here. And later on, we'll also bring in the MBTI, again 3 types, which closely match with Ashwini. So now you can take this as a personality test. If you don't know what your MBTI type is or Enneagram type is, I have covered it in a detailed playlist on this channel in a separate playlist, which gives the description and Excel sheet with the free download link of each and every Excel sheet. And you can find out what your Enneagram type is. You can find out what your MBTI type is and then come to this one. Okay. The rules are basically the same. To begin with, you can start with these 4 basic sets of rules. How do I start? If I have my Vedic astrology chart in front of me, the Natal, the Navamsha, the D10, how do I start? Always first see the ascendant nakshatra, be it Natal, D9 or D10. That's the first starting point. For empty houses, if your 10th house is empty or your first house is empty, see the cusp of that house and what nakshatra that falls in. That would be also a good start because we are seeing it from a nakshatra point of view here. Yes? Number 3, for intimate relationships, marriage, see 7th house, 5th house, natal as well as D9 and the nakshatras thereof or the planets sitting thereof. Okay. For career talents, see nakshatra of the Lord of the 1st and 10th house in both natal, Navamsha and D10. Compare and contrast. Natal is how you were born. Navamsha is how you turn out as personality later in life, post 32 or 36 years of age. And D10 is what talents, how you will be using the nakshatra talents in your career, in your business, in your job. Right? So this being the basic set of rules and introduction, let's get started. The 21st nakshatra of Uttara Ashada falls between 26 degrees 40 minutes of Sagittarius going into 10 degrees of Capricorn. So basically finishing the last 3 degrees of Sagittarius and going into Capricorn, the first 3 padas. So we are talking about Saturn here. It's going into the Saturn from Sagittarius. Yes? First of all, it's a sun rule nakshatra. This is the graduation of power, graduation of success, graduation of status and fame and authority. It's a very powerful nakshatra. So the sun started basically from Kritika Nakshatra, went into Uttara Falguni and graduated in Uttara Ashada. Meaning what? In Kritika, we started learning, the soul started learning about what it is to exercise power, control and authority. What does it mean? It was the initiating stages. In Uttara Falguni, it started learning about how to work to achieve that. not just talk about it, not just have Instagram accounts about it, not just do YouTube channels about it, but actually work to achieve and learn and know what it is to become a leader in a smaller way. Maybe at the factory floor first. Yeah, let's begin at the ground, the bricks and the mortar. So in Uttara Falguni, it learned leadership in that form and fashion, the grounded way, because Saturn wants to ground everything and go practically. In Uttara Ashada, that culminates in a victory. The second invincible one is the Uttara Ashada. Okay? And what was the life lesson? Sun being all about vision, these people are very visionary. They can have a very large view of things now that they have learned lessons from Kritika as well as from Uttara Falguni. In Uttara Ashada, the life lesson was, if you remember from Heart of Nakshatras, individual wisdom and action merging with collective cause is the ultimate victory. That is, removing separatism. So essentially, Uttara Ashada's, the victory these people seek, this nakshatra seeks, is to unify the masses and lead from a place of integrity. Saturn is about integrity. You do some nonsense with non-integrity, Saturn will catch you up on that, this life or the next life or 10 lives after. Talents for Uttara Ashada being determination, discipline, and wisdom. Abilities include leading, organizing, and achieving long-term goals. Going into the zodiac of Saturn, and Sun. Sun being a vision, Saturn being everything long-term. Ambition is to achieve lasting success, lead with wisdom, and making a difference. See, these are the true leaders. If you have a dominant Uttara Ashada, you're a born leader, okay? Fulfillment in career comes from long-term planning. The long-term planners may be in government, maybe in top organization, multinational companies, big companies, Fortune 500, that kind of a thing. Leadership and administration. Strengths include determined, persevering, and goal-oriented. All the grounded qualities of Saturn will come in, combined with the vision of the Sun. Weaknesses, stubbornness, rigidity, and workaholic tendencies. Because it is Saturn, it will keep working till it achieves, right? It doesn't know when to stop. Opportunities being leadership positions, management roles, and organizational tasks. Some things like the carrot your boss keeps hanging in the corporate world, right? I'm going to make you a manager or a team leader, all those fancy stuff. But first you have to go through Uttara Falguni for that. You can't directly land in Uttara Ashada. Okay? You have to learn the work first from the factory floor in order to appreciate what a leader is. Best leaders are those kind actually. Conflicts from stubbornness being the threat, challenges from rigidity, and risk of burnout because you're working too much. These people don't know when to stop. Keywords for career, all the goodies that people in corporate world desire. Corporate leadership, CEOs, executive positions, business leader, management career. Another line would be military career officers, strategic planning, defense industry, and leadership role thereof. Political career, government officials, public service, policy makers, and political leadership also is the third line. So you can see it's all about governance, management, leadership, planning, strategic planning, that kind of a career for Uttara Ashada. The best working relationships they will have is, first one is with Purva Ashada, the one before this. Complements the determination and enthusiasm with persuasion. Remember, Purva Ashada had persuasive skills. It's a marketing guy. It knows how to sell an idea. Shravana provides the wisdom and guidance in achieving goals. The next one after this is Shravana. Shravana has more wisdom. Hasta Nakshatra, the moon, ironically there are two moon nakshatras here. Hasta Nakshatra enhances detail-oriented work and skillful execution. Being in Virgo, it provides the details because Sun gets very large-hearted, very long-term vision. Overview focus rather than details, losing account of details. Now let us see the Enneagram types, each one, and MBTI types, each one of these, and match it to Uttara Ashada. So, for example, the way you see this is if Uttara Ashada is dominant as 10th Lord in your D1, D10 chart or in your ascendant, and if majority of planets are there, like work planets like Saturn, Jupiter, Sun, you should be looking at your Enneagram type as well and MBTI type and then try to match it over here. That would be the best way to go. And if you don't know your Enneagram type or MBTI type, you can go to my other playlist, download the Excel worksheet and check it out for yourself. Okay, now let's see these bridges. Now coming to the Enneagram types, so obviously they'll all be of the ones which are more management kind of roles, right? Leadership management. First one, the Challenger, type 8 Enneagram. Self-confident, decisive, willful, confrontational. Basic desire is to protect themselves and to be in control of their own life and destiny. Typical quality of a leader, yes? Asserting control, resisting weakness, ensuring self-reliance. Moving against people. It's ironical that leaders have to move against people. But that's the way life is at the moment, at least. Okay, so these people, being self-confident, decisive, I would put them in political career. Government officials, public service, policy makers. The ones who dictate what are the rules, regulations, policies in the government. So if you're a type 8 with a strong Uttara Ashada, especially Saturn in Uttara Ashada and or Saturn with Jupiter in Uttara Ashada, this would be a good career path in D1 and D10 as lords of 10th house. Next one, type 3. Now type 3 is the achiever. Achiever right there, Enneagram type 3 achiever with Uttara Ashada would make a good corporate honcho. Corporate leaders, CEOs, executives, business managers, and so on. The key traits being adaptive, excelling and driven and image conscious. All of these guys are, right? All of these kinds of roles are. They have to be image conscious. They have to be a certain way, but the entire organization is looking at them, right? Motivation, achieving success, being admired, avoiding failure. Moving towards people, so they can become good leaders in the corporate world. Of course, you have to check Enneagram type 3 along with Uttara Ashada. That's the whole purpose of these studies. Last one on Enneagram would be type 1, the reformer. Now, the reformer is principled, purposeful, and self-controlled. Perfectionistic. Basic desire to be good, to have integrity, balanced. I see military careers here. Strategic planners within the defense industry. Leadership roles within the defense industry because they are very principled. They are very self-controlled people. So, type 1 Enneagram plus Uttara Ashada, consider a career in the military services. Now for the MBTI types. Again, they will also be of similar nature. The first one being ENTJ. Now the ENTJ is a commander. You can straight away say military career, strategic planning, defense industry and so on. Right? He's a commander. ENTJ, bold, imaginative, strong-willed leaders, always finding a way or making one. Goal-oriented and organized. Excel in leadership and management roles. Of course, all of them are typically like that in this nakshatra. Common fields include business, law, and politics. So business and law also you can consider corporate leadership, CEO, executives, managers, team leaders, or even the legal career, but in more so in Uttara Ashada will be the management career and also the military career. Next one, ESTJ, the executive. Now this is definitely in the business line. They are excellent administrators, unsurpassed at managing things or people, efficient, outgoing, organized, and systematic. Therefore, their leadership and management roles fit them very nicely, where it requires decision making for them, including business, law, and military service. There you go. So ESTJs will fit very well in Uttara Ashada. They are pretty much made for this. Last one is ISTJ, the logistician. This would be typically, I would think, the ones who plan, the planners in corporate world, the planners in military, the planners in political career. all the planning type of people would fit very well in this. Hang on a minute, this thing is dancing around the whole place. Okay, I'll leave it at that. ISTJ, the logistician, a practical and fact-minded individuals, responsible, organized, analytical, and detail-oriented. Highly organized and reliable. So their work, the roles they would fit in, is where such characteristics are called to work. Attention to detail, organization, dependability. Fields include accounting, law enforcement, and administration. I would still say the planners of these three areas. Political career or defense career or corporate career, all three require a wing which is dedicated to some degree of planning. Yes, so these are the planners. Therefore, we are calling their planning skills to come and play here. That's the essential thing of a logistician. So see if you're ISTJ type, see your chart for D1, D10, 10th Lord being present, or planets in 10th house being in Uttara Ashada, and so on. And this will make a good career fit for you. Next one, we shall deal with the wise one, Shravana Nakshatra, within Capricorn. We shall go into the heart of Capricorn. Take care and be safe.